own blood, sweat, and tears, and all our money into this brand, all our millions into this brand to build our own African Coca-Cola. But because people like myself risk, and not everybody is risk averse. Sorry, not everybody can just risk like that. People have got bills to pay. People have got kids that they're growing up. People have got all sorts of different things. There are very few people like myself who are willing to risk it all, and even risk their reputation to fight for what they believe in. So the government should meet us halfway. So instead of complaining about the government, I decided with my partners that let's make it happen and show the government that actually you can even do it without them. And other people have done it before in the past, so why can't we do it? We're doing it exactly. We just we're turning 2, by the way, on the 26th of February as More Fire. And we've eventually reached a milestone that, according to our business plan projections when we started the business, we thought we were going to reach that milestone around the 36th month, like the third year, or the 30th month. But it's only our 20th month in the market, and we're already selling 1 million cans. And I think that is amazing. And it's been difficult to get into retail and to get into major retail outlets, but we're not stopping. It's a struggle and it's a fight that we're fighting on a daily basis, and we're helping and inspiring and encouraging a whole lot of other younger entrepreneurs behind us who are looking at us.
Awesome. So I'd assume that I'm assuming you can correct me, that your initial passion was radio. Where did you pick up entrepreneurship? Who inspired you? What did you see and all of that?
Very good question. I've actually always been an entrepreneur. I grew up with my mother owned a hair salon. My mom was one of the first, she was actually the first female to own a hair salon at Tembisa. My mother started at the same time with Mr. Herman Mashava when he built Black Like Me. My mother has always, had me, Colonas value, I'd be at her salon. I even learned how to go to my SKL Abantu. My mom used to send me around, and at home we used to have a spaza shop as well, where I used to sell at my parents' spaza shop. And at the time I thought my parents got a bank treater. When other kids are playing in the streets, spaza shop, but they never gave me that opportunity. But little did I know that I was being groomed to become an entrepreneur, to become the businessman that I am today. I mean, I take some sweets and then you're schooling in a school picking some when other kids are having lunch and eating lunch. I mean, I'm selling during lunchtime. I'm selling in class when the teacher is not there. All the way to tertiary. Tertiary, I used to sell stolen cell phones. I wouldn't steal the cell phones, but I'd go to the township and buy stolen cell phones at a cheap price. And I'll come to town and I'd sell the cell phones. So I've always had that entrepreneurial spirit. And at some point, I worked for a company called WWI, which is Worldwide Wholesalers Industries, which taught me the 5 steps to a sale: introduction, presentation, short story, close, and rehash. They also taught me the 8 steps to success. They also taught me the law of average. For every no that you get, it's bringing you closer to a yes. I used to sell in the streets. I've sold in trains. I used to sell in parking lots. I've sold in buildings. I used to knock on doors. I'd sell when it was raining. I'd sell because I was trying to make money so I can take myself back to school, because I dropped out of vet at the time, and my parents told me after I'd failed that they're not going to have any more money to help me with my studies. So I had to, drop out, try and look for a job, and I found a job to go do door-to-door sales. And then I brought myself back to school, and I eventually finished with my electrical engineering diploma or qualification, which was an undergrad. And over the years, I've just worked on to upgrade and improve myself. And I ended up getting into an opportunity of starting my own record company with a business partner of mine, TK, who knew a lot of things about the recording industry, and he was the brains behind TS Records, and I was the face. And we decided to go into 50-50 partnerships. Little do we know that we're going to end up having one of the best independent record labels in the country, with brands like Abo Mzegezege, Abo Brown Dash, Abo Pro, Abo Ntando, Abo Zahara, Abo, so we were really blessed to have succeeded. I didn't know that we were going to succeed, and I actually didn't know that I'll be the person that I am today. I was just an ordinary township kid with dreams who wanted to make a difference and wanted to live a better life. I've always wanted more. But little did I know when I was young, all these things that my parents kept on involving me in, whether it's cleaning dishes, whether it's doing the garden outside, whether it's selling at this puzzle shop, whether when schools are closed, I'm at my mom's hair salon, she's giving me the car at 16, I didn't even have a license, but I drive around the township in your store, sometimes in your store, Mazamba, in your store, so I've always been working. So the work ethic has always been instilled in me from when I was a little child. Little did I know it was preparing me to be the person that I am today, where I can be able to be vocally proud and loud to young people and say that I will outwork you. Like, I work harder than everybody that I know. I think so. And I always say to young people, hard work will always beat talent when talent is not good enough. And no matter how smart you can be, no matter how educated you can be, I will always outwork you, because it's a work ethic that has always been instilled in me. So if you do not have the talent, you do not have the education, if you're a hard worker, there's just no ways that you cannot succeed.
What drives you?
I think
to
I'm
do all of
driven.
these things.
Yeah, very good
A lot
question.
of things.
Right now, I'm driven by my daughter, honestly.
Okay.
I have her as a screensaver. Every time when I grab my phone, I see her and then I remember why I'm doing what I'm doing. And when I give talks, I always say this, like, you have to have your why big enough. I think my why is big enough because I want to see my daughter going to the best schools, not only in South Africa. I'd like to see my daughter getting the best education all over the world. And why? Because I'm not just building this for myself. I'm building this for her and for my other children that are going to come in the future. I'm going to leave a legacy. And because I'm going to go into the history books and because I'm building a multi-billion rand or $1 billion business, she will have to have the brains to run it. So she has to be prepared to get them. But for me to afford to give her the best education, I have to work as hard as I can. But understanding the type of communities that we come from, I understand that you cannot be selfish and only focus on yourself and your own family. So that's the reason I'm always inspired to try and help out as much as I can. So I help kids where I come from. I help other kids when I've got a radio show. I hire young people. I get them to job shadow. I get interns. I've always helped out people wherever I am. Whether I'm at YFM, I'm surrounded by young people that I'm helping who are now today doing very well. I know John Robbie's producer, for instance, it's a girl that I got together with. I recruited her to be on radio and I trained her and she was producing my Cozy FM breakfast where we won an award. Now she's producing for John Robbie has just left, so she's producing for Kolani now. People like Abu Faith Mangope, who was a kid that I met through Radio at the time. So Radio Klabi, now she's married. She was a 21-year-old kid who had just a degree, and I recruited her to come and produce my YFM breakfast show, and I trained her, and today she's hosting ETV Sunrise. She's got her own recruitment agency. She's doing very well, and there's a whole lot of others, whether it's DJ Maluela, who's now one of the best recognizable DJ names in the country in South Africa, or whether it's Trevor Matondo, whether it's Zahara, whether it's Pro, whether it's Brandesh, whether it's Ntando Brown, may his soul rest in peace, God bless the dead. But for me, I've always believed in the journey that I'm walking. I always have to pull other people along with me. And that's what inspires me, my community. There's nothing as bad as going back to the township and you're seeing people that you grew up with and it's dry. People are asking you for 10 rand, people are even asking you for 5 rand, and you're looking at this guy used to be the smartest kid in class. He was smarter than all of us. Like, what happened? And it doesn't mean people like that are dumb. People like that, unfortunately, either never had opportunities or they just never got lucky or for whatever reason. So you can't just go back into the township and just pretend like it's all good and drop your roof and just play good music and you want to be seen. I'm not one of those people. I believe I'm a person of a different kind. I have to use the favor that I have, Sibusiso, to be a Sibusiso unto other kids, which means blessing. Yeah. And that's what has been instilled in me from when I was a child. My mom always say, we Sibusiso and we Sibusiso, and that's how I try as much as I can to take my blessings and bless other people.
And on the music side?
I just dropped a single a few months ago with Zahara, which did very well, by the way. I earned very good radio rotation. I was one of the top 20 most played songs in the country over the past three months, which is beautiful. I'm gonna load a video. The video, we shot it, but I didn't load it up. It's going to be up very soon, I think in the next 2 weeks. And then I've just done a song as well with Portia Monique, who's a global vocalist. She's an amazing singer. I'm going to drop that single, I think, around February, March. And then I'm working towards an album at the end of the year. But the most amazing thing that I'm working on right now, which makes me proud, is a book. I'm working on my second book. My first book was a best-selling book, which did very well. I'm currently working on a book called Billionaires Under Construction, The Mindset of an Entrepreneur. Now, when you meet somebody like myself, you can tell that I'm real. You can tell that I'm speaking something that I know because I've lived it. I can tell it. Nobody can tell me how. I often get into arguments with people that are graduates who are academics, and because of having graduated with whatever qualifications that they got, for me, I respect them, but at the same time, whatever they studied at school is through philosophy or books that were written by some, professors back in wherever, from whatever country, who were not writing those books based on the climate of business in South Africa in 2017. And I believe that, I always say this to people, and people are like, hey, this boy thinks he's... But I believe I'm a walking MBA, because if you look at my story, if you look at my story of losses, failures, successes, wins, I'm on my second book. People die without even writing one book. I'm on my 7th album. People die without even releasing one album. My record company delivered over 35 multi-platinum selling albums. I've got multiple awards, and this is just the music industry. I haven't spoken about myself as a success on radio, as a success on television, having hosted South Africa's biggest game show for 10 years, successfully so, with the highest ratings in the country. And I think, for me, evolving and becoming this entrepreneurial businessman who's also a speaker, speaking for me it's come natural because I've always loved speaking for free at schools. But for me to start getting an opportunity to speak to get my first paycheck as a speaker, I had spoken for a couple of years at over 300 schools. For me to eventually get that opportunity to be paid a couple of thousands to speak with the older audience. So I was like, okay, so I can get paid most time for this. I've been speaking at schools all these years for free. And then I started getting more and more people who are saying my story inspires them. They want me to come and speak at Discovery, they want me to come and speak at a conference at Coca-Cola, whatever. And then I started getting international bookings, and I started becoming this international speaker that I am now.
Right. What is Wu's story in a short sentence? What is your story that people must know that this is my tagline, this is my story? What is your story?
My story is, I always say you can't stop my goal, because you can't stop me. I'm one of the young people that come from South Africa, an ordinary child from the township who believes in his dream, who believes in himself, who's a hard worker, who's told himself that come rain or shine, dark or blue, I will empower my community, I will follow my name, I will be a blessing unto my generation, I will push the envelope, I will change the game, and I will be great. Nobody will tell me otherwise, because I will be great. My mom told me that I'm great, my name says that I'm great. I've seen and I've proven through my hard work that I am great, and I continue to be on my journey to greatness. And just in summary, that's Sibusiso, and he will continue to become Sibusiso to millions and millions of not only South Africans but Africans, because the journey and the story has to be told internationally and globally. And that's why I'm very happy that recently I'm now an international speaker where I get to tell the story. I don't go up on stage at whatever venue I'm invited in to go speak about a PowerPoint presentation of some quotes of some successful business people that I saw, some quotes as other Bill Gates. No, I'm going to speak about my authentic story of coming from South Africa. And that's the reason why I'm inspired by people like Trevor Noah. When you read his book, he says I was born a crime, because at the time it was a crime in the country for a European, to have sex with a South African, make a child. So he was born a crime. And that opportunity of him being where he is today on the platform has given him an opportunity to tell not only the African story, but the indigenous South African story. And I'm inspired by somebody like that, who's not doing it just for himself, but who's changing the perception to the whole world about us. And I want to be one of those guys. I've been continuously doing it in the country, but now I'm happy that I'm starting to break in internationally as a speaker and as a social entrepreneur to tell the story, not just as an entertainer.